Welcome to this special edition of A View from the Bridge. We're in Japan with the UK Carrier Strike Group in HMS Prince of Wales, together with the new First Sea Lord, General Sir Gwyn Jenkins. As he launches his ambitious 100-day plan for the Royal Navy, I caught up with him on the bridge of the carrier in Tokyo Bay to gain an insight into his mission and vision. So ministers have now asked you to do this job. You've got the keys to the Navy. What are you actually going to do?
Well, I've been lucky enough to be given 4 years as the First Sea Lord. I think to many people, 4 years might sound like a long time to be in charge. It's not. 4 years will go in the blink of an eye, but I think my orders are really clear. I've been told to get the Navy ready for warfighting in 4 years' time in order to provide the deterrence that we need so that we don't have to fight the war the nation doesn't want to have to fight. Getting the Royal Navy ready for warfighting is a real challenge, but every sailor, marine, civil servant and contractor that I come across is up for this challenge. What does that really mean? How does that really manifest itself? Well, it means bringing genuine innovation into the Royal Navy. I can't build more warships, submarines or aircraft in 4 years, even if I wanted to. But if we're really to be ready for the modern age, we've got to innovate at pace to introduce automation into this fleet. What that means a hybrid air wing, which again, I'm under orders from in the Defence Review, to bring autonomy to match the capability of these F-35s off this flight deck. But it also means automation. It means innovation in the subsurface, in the surface, and in the air for the whole of the Royal Navy.
I mean, I'm keen to learn more about the technology, and that's exciting. But just returning to being ready to fight, I mean, that is powerful language. Others have used it as well. I mean, when you talk to the ship's company in Prince of Wales, and to the Royal Marines and the other branches in the service, what are you saying to them about what that really means?
So I'm asking them to be pragmatic and sensible about how we can prepare this Navy for what might come. At their heart, all our service men and women are warfighters. They join the organisation knowing what being part of a military service involves. But what we need to do is turn our practical thoughts to what would actually be involved for us to be credible in a war situation. What I overwhelmingly find is a Navy that is forward-leaning and is hungry for this kind of direction. I find a Navy that is genuinely up for the idea of how do we get ourselves ready to be the professional force that we need to be. This can only be solved as a challenge, as a whole Navy effort. It can only be resolved if we can involve all of us in the solutions we need to find to make sure that the Navy leads. One of the inspiring things about being the First Sea Lord is I inherit an organisation that has a long history of innovation. The move from sail to steam, the move from paddles to props, the development of the dreadnought, the development of aircraft carriers, the development of submarines, it was all led by the Royal Navy in the world. We're now at another inflection point. Future combat will involve high levels of automation. We've seen it in the conflict in Ukraine. We know what is coming.
Talking to the ship's company and knowing some of your people, I mean, they share that ambition, and I think they get it. But what they also say is we're being asked to do too much with too little. Can you fix that?
So when we look at the investment that is going into the Royal Navy at the moment, as I said, 2 classes of frigate in build right now, 2 classes of nuclear submarines in build right now, major infrastructure investment across the force. You and I have had this discussion before. Of course, as a military force, I would always ask for more money, but that cannot be an excuse for being ready for what we do. If I need to make space for the Navy in order to train to be better, then I will make space for the Navy to train to be better. I have confidence in our political leaders that they understand the challenges that we face in making this force prepared for what might come. So I would say to the Navy, we have within our gift the ability to prepare this force. We should overcome some of the learned helplessness that might be present in some areas. we should think positively about the solutions to the challenges we face. Our job is not to make excuses. Our job is to make this force ready.
A lot of talk about new technology and how the nature of warfighting is changing. I mean, you're putting that front and center of the Navy that you want to create. What does a hybrid air wing, autonomous ships, surface and subsurface and in the air, what does that really look like?
However autonomous we become, our people will remain at the heart of this organization. But it's increasingly clear that if we're to realize the mass and the persistence and the sustainability that we're going to need as a warfighting force, then we will need uncrewed systems in mass. And that means really every crewed platform that we have needs to be accompanied by its uncrewed escorts and support vessels, whether it's in the air, whether it's on the surface, or whether it's under the surface. And it's the development of those capabilities is taking these fantastic F-35s that we see on the deck and making sure that when they leave this carrier for whatever mission we're going to embark them on, they're accompanied by their uncrewed platforms. It's when this carrier sails to sea, I want to see the uncrewed escorts that are going with it, because it's those uncrewed escorts that give me the persistence and give me the protection that I need to be able to wield these capabilities with confidence.
I don't think anyone doubts that that is the future. That's got to be the direction of travel. I think it's the timeline and how you fund it that maybe is the question. I mean, you're setting out an ambition to do this in 4 years while you're in charge. I mean, is that really possible?
It's totally possible. That technologically, that is all achievable right now. When I look at what has come out of the Defence Review and the National Security Strategy, when I talk with John Healey as the Secretary of State for Defence, I see the government's commitment to this level of innovation. Innovation is not our problem. Scaling is our challenge, as you rightly outline, but it's a challenge that we can solve. It's a challenge that we will resolve. By Christmas, I will have established a new agency in Portsmouth whose sole job is scaling the innovation that is already present across the Navy. And I've had some great discussions with our National Armaments Director and with our Secretary of State for Defence about how we make that agency work for the Navy so that we can feed that innovation into the front line.
Well, it's a bold, exciting vision, but I mean, just help me understand how it actually looks here. So we've got an aircraft carrier here. There's 20 or so F-35s on the deck. If you bring this strike group back to Tokyo in 4 years' time, what does it look like with a hybrid air wing? What does that amount to?
Okay, Stephen, so I just want you to use your imagination. We're looking out of this window. Alongside this carrier, there's a 90-meter uncrewed escort vessel whose sole job is to protect this carrier. And she's loitering just out there in the bay under her own authority and the supervision of this carrier. On the flight deck, alongside every F-35, I have an autonomous vehicle that can accompany that F-35 into the sky. It'll bring surveillance and strike mass to the F-35 capability. Also on the flight deck, I've got an autonomous vehicle that can provide the situational and airborne early warning that we need for the carrier, currently fulfilled by the Merlin helicopters. But we've got a drone on the deck that can do a very similar job for us. Next to that, I've got another vehicle that can provide my interfleet communications and resupply. And as you know, on this carrier deployment, we're already doing that with the Malloy platforms off this flight deck. So let's come back in 4 years and see whether that uncrewed escort is out there next to the carrier.
I can't wait.
See whether those ACPs are on the deck. You know, that's my commitment to the Navy. My job is to try and bring that to life. But the beauty of this proposal, the beauty of the plan, and I'm really happy to be held to account for this, but the beauty of the plan is it's scalable.
We're talking here today at the start of the first 100 days into the autumn term. What do your colleagues need to know about your intent and actually just what is going to happen over the next few months? Is this slow and steady and evolutions of change, or is there a bit of an earthquake coming?
So we have 100 days to start to make a difference to the Navy. It's not possible to change the Navy in 100 days. It is possible to make a start on the changes that we need to make in order to change the Navy in 100 days. So we're going to launch a series of initiatives across the Navy that will demonstrate to our people that this is possible. We will show them that we can change this Navy. But in order to do it, we need everybody's effort. It's not enough for me as First Sea Lord to sit there and direct that the Navy changes. It's going to take everybody to roll their sleeves up and believe that the Navy can change. My 100 days will be the opportunity to both help people buy into that belief and demonstrate to them that we can make a difference.
So you're convinced, I mean, whether you are joining the Navy today or you've served for decades, this is going to be a defining period.
It has to be a defining period. This is our force. This is our Navy. And we've been given a fantastic mandate. And thanks to the work of our predecessors, we have a number of really great initiatives already in train. Our job now is to harness them to realize this vision of what we can do in 4 years and start to bring it to life.
This view from the bridge is being done for the Royal Navy, Royal Marines charity. How important is the service charity to the serving community in this ship and across the rest of the service, and to their families and veterans?
This is an epoch-defining moment for all of us. It's a chance for the Navy to lead the world again in how we will fight and win if we're asked to do so. And we can only do that with our people. Our people can only do that if they feel safe and secure in the environment that we can create for them and for their families. The comfort that we take as service men and women to know that the charities have got our back, to know that whatever sacrifices we make, however hard we work for this nation, that somebody is there who will care, who will support, and who will help our families or ourselves if we need it. That it is almost indescribable how important that is for all of us as a service. It does really matter.
I mean, it's going to be a frenetic couple of years, huge amount to do. How do you know you're on track? I mean, what's the scorecard that you're applying to your own leadership?
I think there are probably 4 key things. So I'd start off by, are we going to be ready for warfighting? We're going to do a series of war games through the autumn to set the bar for the Royal Navy. What can we do in 4 years to make this force ready? What will that look like? That will create the measurement against which we will hold ourselves for the end of my tenure. And are we going to achieve it or not? I think the second is to do with our people, really, which is I think we owe it to our people to create an environment where they can bring the best of themselves to work. I passionately believe that this organization only succeeds if its people can bring the best of themselves into the game. That fundamentally means leadership, and that means changing the way we assess our leaders so that they can help us change the culture for the better. The third one is to do with capability. I've set the bar pretty high for what we need to do if we come back here to Tokyo in 4 years' time. And I know that you will hold me to account as to whether that has happened or not. The last one is a personal measurement, which is, am I still enjoying the job in 4 years' time? I'm enthused and engaged, and I get such a thrill, particularly from being on board and talking to our sailors and Marines and civil servants and contractors for the job that they do. In 4 years' time, am I still enjoying this? Have I still got the energy that I need to lead this Navy? And if I have, then I've got it right.
You come across as very confident and energized. Is that just a Royal Marine thing, or do you harbour some concerns and some reservations?
So I think it's a leader's responsibility. I'm not naive to the challenges. There are any number of things that can throw us off track, but my leader responsibilities are to be positive about what we can do as a Navy. It's not naive, but it is positive. I will meet the challenges head on when they come, but my job is to give this service a vision, take the service forward to what it needs to be, help the service lead in the world about what a maritime force can be. And I'm really committed to that. So if I can't be positive, then who is?
It's going to be hard. How do you relax?
So I'm pretty good, I think. One of the lucky, fortunate places I find myself in is this is my second 4-star appointment. This isn't my first rodeo, as you might say. I know how to manage my own resource. My family are really important to me, just as much as my own physical activity, my own sleep, and some of my intellectual pursuits as well. So I'm a creative writer. I write books in my spare time as a way of just clearing my mind and helping me relax and think about something different. So the combination of family, sleep, creative pursuits, I think that gives me the kind of intellectual and physical space and the spiritual nourishment that I need in order to be able to bring the best of myself to work and add the best value I possibly can to this organisation.
Vasilo, thank you for your time today.
It's been a real pleasure, Stephen. Thank you.